Got to get right into it, folks.
All right, a few words from the President and First Lady. Let's listen in.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and we love you, and I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart. This has been an incredible 4 years. We've accomplished so much together. I want to thank all of my family and my friends and my staff and so many other people for being here. I want to thank you for your effort, your hard work. People have no idea how hard this family worked. They worked, and they worked for you. They could have had a much easier life, but they did a fantastic job. I just want to thank all of you, everyone. I want to thank Mark Meadows, who's here, someplace right there. I want to thank Mark. But
We are the few.
It's been something very special. We've accomplished a lot. Our First Lady has been a woman of great grace and beauty and dignity. And so popular with the people, so popular with the people. In fact, honey, would you like to say a few words, please?
Being your First Lady was my greatest honor. Thank you for your love and your support. You will be in my thoughts and prayers. God bless you all. God bless your families. And God bless this beautiful nation.
Good morning. Good morning.
What else has to be said, right? But what we've done, that's true, honey, great job. What we've done has been amazing by any standard. We rebuilt the United States military. We created a new force called Space Force. That in itself would be a major achievement for a regular administration. We were not a regular administration. We took care of the vets, 91% approval rating. They've never had that before.
Good morning.
The vets have
Good
given
morning,
us
everyone over on
the
D
VA.
Live. Good morning, Twitch.
The vets have
Good
given us an
morning,
approval rating
YouTube.
like,
I'd say good
has
morning to
never been
Facebook,
before.
but they've
Took
got
care
us
of our
banned on
vets, you know,
Facebook for
beautiful
Inauguration
vets. They
Day. Go
were
figure.
very badly treated before we came along. And as you know, we get them great service, and we pick up the bill, and they can go out and they can see a doctor if they have to wait long periods of time. We got it so that we can sadly get rid of people that don't treat our vets properly. We didn't have any of those rights before when I came on, so our vets are happy, our people are happy, our military is thrilled. We also got tax cuts, the largest tax cut and reform in the history of our country by far. I hope they don't raise your taxes, but if they do, I told you so.
He's going to be saying, "I told you so" for a while to come,
If you look at the
guys.
regulations, which I consider the regulation cuts to be maybe even more important, that's why we have such good and have had such good job numbers. The job numbers have been absolutely incredible. When we started, had we not been hit by the pandemic, we would have had numbers that would never have been seen. Already our numbers are the best ever. If you look at what happened until February a year ago, our numbers were at a level that nobody had ever seen before. And even now, we really built it twice. We got hit. Nobody blames us for that. The whole world got hit, and then we built it again. And now the stock market is actually substantially higher than it was at its higher point prior to the pandemic. So it's really,
was that?
we built it twice. And you're going to see...
Did she just
You're
rip
going to
ass?
see incredible numbers start coming in if everything is sort of left alone. Be careful. Very complex. Be careful. But you're going to see some incredible things happening. And remember us when
gonna
you
be a
see
busy
these
day,
things
folks.
happening, if you would. Remember us, because I'm looking at elements of our economy that are set to be a rocket ship up. It's a rocket ship up. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest economy in the world. And as bad as the pandemic was, we were hit so hard, just like the entire world was hit so hard. Places that thought they got away with it didn't get away with it. They're suffering right now. We did something that is really considered a medical miracle. They're calling it a miracle, and that was the vaccine. We got the vaccine developed in 9 months instead of 9 years or 5 years or 10 years or a long time. It was supposed to take a long time, many, many years to develop a vaccine. We have 2 out. We have another one coming almost immediately.
Discord's right. Melania was
really
the most attractive first lady
you should
we've
start
ever
to see
had,
really good
hands
numbers
down.
over the next few months. I think you're going to see those numbers really skyrocket downward. And I can only say this, we have worked hard. We've left it all, as the athletes would say, we've left it all in the field. We don't have to come and say, we'll never say in a month when we're sitting in Florida, we're not going to be looking at each other and saying, you know, if we only worked a little bit harder, you can't work harder. And we had a lot of obstacles, and we went through the obstacles, and we just got 75 million votes, and that's a record in the history of sitting presidents. That's an all-time record by a lot, by many millions. In the history of sitting presidents, it's been really just an honor. One of the things we're very, very proud of is the selection of almost 300 federal judges and 3 great Supreme Court justices.
We're going to be depending on those
very big
judges
number. It's a
and those justices to do
setting
what's
number,
right
and,
over
so
the
we've
next
done a
few
lot,
years.
And there's still things to do. The first thing we have to do is pay our respects and our love to the incredible people and families who suffered so gravely from the China virus. It's a horrible thing that was put onto the world. We all know where it came from, but it's a horrible, horrible thing. So be very careful. Be very, very careful. But we want to pay great love to all of the people that have suffered, including families who have suffered so gravely. So with that, I just want to say you are amazing people. This is a great, great country. It is my greatest honor and privilege to have been your president.
He looks emotional. Wow.
I will always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better. I wish the new administration great luck and great success. I think they'll have great success. They have the foundation to do something really spectacular. And again, we put it in a position like it's never been before, despite the worst plague to hit since, I guess you'd say 1917, over 100 years ago. And despite that, the things that we've done have been just incredible, and I couldn't have done it without you. So just a goodbye. We love you. We will be back in some form. And again, I want to just, in leaving, I want to thank our Vice President, Mike Pence, and Karen. I want to thank Congress, because we really worked well with Congress, at least certain elements of Congress. But we really did. We've gotten so much done that nobody thought would be possible. But I do want to thank Congress. And I want to thank all of the great people of Washington, D.C., all of the people that we worked with to put this miracle together. So have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Well,
just what we expect
Short and sweet.
the president to say. Recap a little bit of his accomplishments over the last 4 years, and wish luck
Hashtag
to the
still my president.
to the next administration, and that's exactly what he has done. He's shown nothing but class, promises that this is not the end of him, his family. I think this is definitely not the end of the Make America Great Again movement.
Oh, it's not even close to being over, folks.
Which is exactly
for it to be over,
what he has started.
he would have to
started a
have
movement,
nobody that follows
and they
him.
might have canceled
Plain and
him,
simple.
but they will not cancel the movement. As he's saying his goodbyes right now, what a special moment between him. Now he's with Eric, and now a hug with Dawn. What a moment. This president, of course, the crowd, not as vocal as you would expect at a Trump rally, but nevertheless, we heard the chants of "We love you." We heard the
It's
support.
really difficult for a lot of people today. A lot of
We're now
people,
seeing a lot
for a
of
lot of
hugs,
people, there's a lot of
with people in the
sadness,
crowd,
a lot of
people
despair.
saying-
Folks, you just have to realize the only thing that's happening today is that
People
we're
saying
going
their
from
goodbyes.
offense, or we're going from defense
he's walking
to
over to see who
offense.
he's gonna
Now we're
talk
going to
to
be
now.
on offense.
Just
Okay.
just a moment in history right now. Melania looking absolutely stunning.
Today, we simply become
As they
the
make their way-
resistance, which it's felt like we've been the
Might be a
resistance the
tight
entire
shot to cut
time.
through those
But
flags,
today, we
they're
become
gonna
the
get a red carpet
resistance.
walking up into the
What
Air
gives the
Force One.
president power is that the people accept him
and
as their
the
president.
crowd obviously
Okay.
going to stick around. We're going to stick around. We want to see
And for
this.
4 years, we listened to the
Air
left
Force
say,
One
not my president, he's
flight.
not my president, he's not this, he's not that.
As he's
well,
walking
folks,
through the
it's our
military.
turn.
Of course, we had
That's all it is.
the
It's
salute,
our
the
turn.
military salute with the cannons being fired off when he first got
That's all
here.
it
We
is.
had the band
So,
playing,
am I going to
upon
say
his arrival.
hashtag not my
And now we've got a
president?
shot of
No,
him,
folks, actually, I think I'm going to counter
walking
with
through.
hashtag
I know it's a very difficult
is
to see through these
still
flags right
my
now, but
president.
Of course, here in just a second, you'll see him go up the stairs.
because he
there
will
to
still
Air
be
Force
in there.
One.
He will still be giving people
We want to remind
his
everybody,
thoughts, his opinions,
thank
and
you so
trying
much
to make America great
for
again.
staying with us here at Right Side
Just because he
Broadcasting.
doesn't have the
You
job
can always go
anymore.
to our website, find out more
There's
what's
a,
going on in the
and
country.
he's restricted in the office of president to what he can do. He has to follow all kinds of strict
The
rules and
president, first lady,
regulations.
almost to the
But
top
he's no longer the
of the
president.
stairs, so I'll turn around now.
He's going to be able to serve a
give
very
one final
important role
wave
going
And
forward.
There you have it. What a moment. And of course the crowd returning their love for the president as well. As they walk off on Air Force One.
His hair
and
did
that's
turn
it.
white.
So, at
Why
this
is
point,
that? Why does every
once they are
president's hair
loaded up,
turn white?
Traditionally, this takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get this plane
Chucky in the house
fired
over there
off
on the D lines. I see you,
and,
brother.
off the ground. And of course, we have a team down in
It's an
Florida
early one here. We need to get some coffee
right now
going.
to
We're going to be going
receive
on
the
and off
president
all
later
day
on
long
this
today,
morning. I just
covering
want
all the different
everyone
events.
to stay
This
advised.
is an early
All of our
moment.
social media, we will
And
have
what we're
full
seeing
coverage
here is,
on that as
you know,
well.
Trump is obviously snubbing
obviously tune into our
Biden. If
Facebook
I were Trump, I would have snubbed him
and our
too.
YouTube and Instagram.
And he's
as
going
we'll
out
have
in his
coverage
own way. He didn't.
of that
If the president, an
happening.
outgoing president, wanted to
Crowd
use Air
still
Force
sticking
One
around,
afternoon, he had to
obviously,
basically ask
I'd
permission
probably say 200 to 300
of the
people
incoming
here.
president to use Air Force One, and when it went
very
out, it
limited
wouldn't be called Air Force
access
One. So he wanted
here.
to go out and make sure that
Also,
the call
we
sign
wanna
was
remind
still Air
everybody to
Force One.
please, go onto our social
And the plane is
media
not going
and
to fly down
put
to
down
Florida,
What you think President Trump's greatest
down to
accomplishment
Mar-a-Lago, where he will
was the
remain.
last 4 years? What was his greatest accomplishment? What is one thing that you're really proud that he did? And let's remember some of those today on this final day of him in office. Let's remember some of the greatest accomplishments.
Yeah,
that
he
he's
doesn't
done
have
for
to be
America, for
presidential
small
anymore.
businesses, for our military. He talked about that when he first came out. He
Kermit
talked
in the
about
house. What's good,
military,
brother?
being one that he was able to rebuild and help with benefits, and so that's
We got
just a
somebody
great
who's doing that.
accomplishment there. And he's a big supporter of our military, and just kind of looking around, looking at some of the gauging the the mood here it's different. There is a level of sadness. I'm not going to paint it that that does not exist here. It does.
Slinging out those band hammers already, folks.
People, and he said this, millions and millions of people who voted for Trump are feeling a level of sadness today. And I want you to know that I stand here on this podium just as sad as you are.
And we're all going to watch Air Force One fly off together here and headed down to Mar-a-Lago. From what I understand, there's going to be reporters down
we all thought this
down in Florida to capture his arrival.
Be reelected for a second term.
But he's going to be he's going to be the first president to leave on Air Force One. Every other president who's left basically had to ask permission of the incoming president. Hey, can I use Air Force One?
In South Florida,
and if he would have done that with Biden, Biden could have straight up said, no, get your own way out of here. You know, so he wasn't trying to play those games. He wasn't trying to be part of any Democrat shenanigans. So, you know, Trump's going out in his own way.
Subject to a lot of criticism, not only by the press.
I don't blame him one bit. I would have done it exactly the same way. So he'll be the first president that leaves under the call sign Air Force One. It's not easy to adjust.
Imagine if you ran for a public office and you were to open up your private life to the media and to the world to be so scrutiny.
That's something new. I haven't seen that before. When the president leaves, I've never seen a guy stand in the door there like blocking it off.
Before now, but he wanted to serve the American people.
You gotta imagine too that
in our government,
the Democrats, they're going to do everything they can to try to destroy this man's life.
He has done for the last 4 years
because they're scared of him. They're afraid of him trying to run again.
The press.
I think it's really important that everybody pay attention to what happened in Congress because they're still going to go forward with impeachment proceedings
as they make their
in the Senate. And I think it's really important that everybody pay attention and watch what senators sit there and decide to convict the president. Because if you got senators in your state that are pulling that crap and playing the Democrat games, well, folks, they've basically just pulled out their swamp card to let you know who they are. So when it comes time to vote, you need to remember who to vote out.
He's done a tremendous job.
Got to get those people out.
With our economy, our stock market, our 401ks. Bringing business back to the U.S. as we have heard time and time again. Some of the policies under Barack Obama,
they technically
it was not advantageous for companies to build things right here in America. That's why they went to Mexico.
The House,
that's why they went overseas
or whatever.
Well, he
before he left, so they are
really
going to continue forward in the Senate. But you've got to watch to see what senators vote for that. If they impeach him, it's because they're scared of him coming back in 2024. They're scared of him trying to run again. They're trying to get him out of the Republican Party is what they're trying to do.
That were in trouble, that had lost
which is stupid. Which is absolutely stupid. This man just got 74 million votes. Was it the most
proud
of any Republican ever in history?
And look at what he's done for as far as international security, foreign policy. He has elevated the status of this country back to
I mean, I got news, folks. I'm waiting until afternoon during the actual inauguration, but the very second
major, attack on
that Biden does the inauguration, I'm switching from Republican back to independent.
Embassies around the world, they're
going to have to earn back
protection that
my registration,
but
the Republicans have been doing a lot of swampy things against Trump. A lot of swampy things. And personally, it's stuff that I don't agree with. So if they want that registration back, they're going to have to earn it, plain and simple. So I'll be switching to independent.
In January 20 of 2017, when he
in the
was
state where I'm
inaugurated,
at,
we felt
I'm
like
allowed
there was
to
a level
do that
of
online.
protection that he had over this country, and that the bad guys, quote, of the world didn't want to come near us, knowing that there were repercussions for showing aggressiveness towards the U.S. And that is one thing that I really pray continues, because I know that Biden has said the first 100 days he would open up immigration from countries like Iran and other Middle Eastern countries, something that
folks,
President Trump
a lot of people
quickly
are really feeling sad and depressed because they feel like this is the end.
Threat. And
but
so
I got
now
news,
it seems
folks.
like
This is just the beginning.
That might be reversed,
This is
and that's
just
really
the beginning. This is just starting.
I'm very fearful.
But I swear to you, my
what could
phone
happen,
makes no noise
during
when
that.
I'm
It
not
also
live. But I swear, the moment I go live,
borders. We just saw last week.
phone
with
just
the,
starts blowing up.
Completion of 400 plus miles of wall that the president constructed. Had a press conference down there, talked about the importance of securing our southern border, talked about the importance of keeping the drug cartels, talking about keeping the gangs and the people who really wanted to come into our country and commit a crime. And that's exactly what that southern border wall did. And
guys, this man is going to continue fighting for us.
And of course,
he's going to continue fighting
has said they would like
make
to
America great
a lot
again.
Of the, immigration policies,
and I would argue that he made America great again in multiple ways.
We saw that
You get people on the left who ask, when was America ever great? You know,
we're getting a little bit of movement.
how about when we
on,
defeated the
Air
Nazis
Force
in World War II? Was America great then? You know, how about when they led the Industrial Revolution? You know,
and we say goodbye.
Was America great then?
President Trump.
You know, there's so many different times
president
throughout history that you could sit here and list out telling you when America was great. You know, and during President Trump's term, I mean, were we great when we defeated ISIS?
World that we live in, but if
you know,
look at his
were we great when we built
the
greatest economy of all time?
For this country and for the American people, there is
I'd say so.
absolutely
How about record low
no
unemployment, especially for
Donald J.
minorities?
Trump
I'd say that's pretty great.
The best president this country has ever seen. And what an appropriate song
the question
playing
is,
right now.
Okay, so Biden becomes president, right?
Just makes me think about
the question
this
is
president.
Is
He
Biden
did
going
do
to
it
be
his way.
your leader? Are you
He
going to
came
look
to
up
a
to
very
Biden?
corrupt
Are you going to
DC.
let him
He came
guide
to a
your
very corrupt
thoughts
swamp.
and guide what you want?
Politicians,
You know, in the
backdoor
end, the
deals,
person who's your
and he
leader is the
kicked
person
over
that
the
you look
apple
up to,
cart
the
of
person
corruption here in
that
DC,
you look for inspiration
and he
from, the person
cleaned it
that you
up
continue to
the
follow.
best of his ability.
And you got to
And I
ask
think that's
yourself,
one thing that
are there going to be more
one of his
people in the
greatest
U.S. following
accomplishments is,
Biden?
in fact,
Or are there
that
going to
he
be more
was able
people
to
continuing to follow Trump?
expose a lot of the fraud,
You know, so
and the bad business
you know,
that is
like
Washington D.C.
hashtag still your
And
president.
so we all
If
watch
more
this
people in the
plane
United States follow
taxi
that
over to
man
the runway,
than the man who has the official title,
this song,
I mean, come on.
and so many images are going through my head right now. I'm thinking about the wonderful times we've had with this president.
Sitting here
I'm thinking
reflecting
about the
back on his
times that he
4
stepped
years,
on these rally stages, tens of thousands
I
of
can
people.
easily say,
One of the greatest rallies I saw was Bullhead City.
that
We
man
probably had
was the
50,000
best
people
president of my lifetime, hands
And
down.
he felt like he was in touch with every single
He was the
one
first
of them.
president
That he
to
felt
keep
like
his
he knew
promises.
every
He
single
was the first
person
president that
was
made
there
the
waving
average
those
working
flags,
man
showing their
sit
love
back
for
and
him.
go, wow, he
That's
didn't just
the
make up a
president
bunch of
that Donald
lies.
J. Trump was.
You know, that's going to put a lot
He
of pressure on the
knew who
Biden
you were.
administration
He
going
knew
forward.
the problems you were
you know?
going through. He knew
And the thing is, Trump's going to be
absolutely
over his shoulder the whole time
everything
going, I
because
told
he
you so.
talked to the American
You know, we've
people. He got
heard
to know
today that
who
from
voted for him.
we heard today
And
from
it's just
that
very
some of his
magical
policies
moment
that he's
right here.
planning on
We've
doing
got
right
Marine
away.
One,
He's going to end what he
and
calls
the
the
other
Muslim ban,
copter
which is
fired
really
up
just a ban on countries that have a
get
problem
ready
with
to depart.
terrorism.
A lot of we've got media in our way right now. I apologize.
You know,
for that. We're trying
if
to get
America
them out
ends
of
up
the way.
having a terrorist attack, Trump's going to be sitting right over
all
his
right.
shoulder going, I told you so.
If you're just now joining
I
us,
told you
welcome.
so.
Good morning.
You know, and
President
that kind
Trump
of
just
stuff is
wrapped
what
up
scares them. They don't. That's why they're
speech
trying to
here at
impeach him
Joint
and
Base
trying to
Andrews,
destroy him in every way they can.
and he
Because
is
if he
on
sits
his
there for
way
the next 4 years going,
to
I
South
told you so,
Florida,
I told you so.
where he will be
When people
greeted
go back and vote
by a group of
in
supporters
2024,
there as well.
and if Trump's on that
We do
ticket,
have a team on the
chances
ground
are they're going to go vote
in
for that
South
I told
Florida
you
to
so.
bring you coverage there as well. Family looks like they're still here. Some are here. I think a lot of them got on the plane, but I didn't have a clear shot of that. But as we wait for
But one way or
Air
another,
Force One to
folks,
fire up
get your popcorn.
and roll it forward.
Get
We've got some
your
acceleration.
popcorn. Get your popcorn ready.
And here we go. Saying goodbye to Donald J. Trump, the greatest president this country has ever seen. And we say, Mr. President, goodbye and God bless. May the Lord shine his face upon you.
No, right side with the horrible focus.
All of us
Are you kidding me?
At right side, and for every American watching
Yeah,
us,
just make it fuzzy, why don't you?
Mr. President. Thank you.
Oh my God. Fire whoever that cameraman is.
And there he goes.
Oh my God, their cameraman is shit.
Morning.
He's sitting there trying to mess with the focus back and forth. We don't even get to watch. Good God.
You still got it?
No, he didn't have it to begin with. He's an idiot.
All right, well, let me step back in front here. The president on his way
There,
to South
he
Florida.
finally figured out how to focus his camera. You had one job. You had one job, cameraman. You had one job.
As they watch this president make his way, hopefully flies right over the swamp and waves goodbye to them down there as well. But what a morning it has been here as the president delivered
I bet you Trump is excited to get back to his own Boeing that he's had, that's just been sitting chilling for 4 years.
And said he wishes luck to the new administration, that he felt like he laid
I can't
out
wait for the Trump book deal. I don't know about you guys, but I am looking forward to the Trump book deal.
Base.
I want to. You know that's going to be a #1 all-time bestseller if he releases a book.
Really lay down a foundation.
I'm not even a person who reads books very often.
He walked in on day one, so very different scenario. And of course, DC.
Damn it, if I'm not freaking excited
we have the exit now. Marine One
for him to release
leaving.
a book.
I would imagine they're going to go back to the White House. I'm just expecting that would probably be what they do. And of course, you see some of the other planes that were on the ground. I just don't know. There we go. You can see, I guess we still got a good shot of him up there. It's hard to see this time of day with the light. I'm going to take a look at the monitor here. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great shot there, Gage. Great shot there.
Yeah, now you got a great shot.
Over this area.
Wow.
Course, not a person, by the way, not a person has left this venue. The crowd that has been gathered
I love
here,
Lucy. Howdy.
They're still here. And they're probably going to likely stay here until this plane is completely out of sight.
I've been having internet problems for days now. I think everybody has been having a lot of internet problems. I know mine was down for over a full 24 hours. And still isn't the best.
The podium's been taken down.
But yeah.
Microphone's been taken down. But
I assume there's going to be a lot of blockouts and stuff. I've heard a lot of information that in DC that they've got cell phone jammers up so that live streamers can't be on the ground.
As he flies out.
I think if you guys remember in 2016, Antifa had like blocked off a bunch of the gateways, and there was a bunch of videos and stuff about how they were preventing people from going into the inauguration and whatnot. And I think there might be a lot of that, but you know, the opposite happening today, but they don't want people to actually live stream it, so they've got cell phone jammers out because they only want you to see what they want you to see. We're going to be seeing a lot of stuff, your regular news, man. Get ready, because they're going to be selling all of Biden's stuff as the best thing since sliced bread. They're going to be out there pushing that every single thing this man does is the greatest friggin' thing that's ever happened.
Do not let the radical left,
the sheep,
and dictate what
are going to be switching from hearing everything is the worst thing ever to now it's the greatest thing ever.
Put in the promo code RSBN at checkout. That's RSBN, and get
the brainwashing machine is going to be on full-on overdrive today, and we're going to be watching it. We're going to be bringing it in.
Please
but
support him, because a portion of those proceeds goes right.
I figured we'd start this morning off shiny and bright with a healthy dose of Trump before we go into clown world. Before we go in and start seeing
for conservatives.
seeing all the
Republicans,
dopes,
we appreciate all of you guys
seeing
right now.
the
As a
charade,
reminder,
seeing
our Twitter
exactly
has
what
been
happens
suspended,
today. There's
so we
been
no
so many
longer
rumors, so
have
much
a Twitter, but you can
misinformation, so
follow
much
us
everything
on
that's out there. I mean, all of it,
Facebook,
and
follow
all of
us
it
on
is
YouTube,
put out
and
there
you
on
can
purpose
follow
to
us
cause
on Instagram
for us all to start
as well on
infighting
those social
and to
media
have, you know,
platforms.
to
Those
sit
are
there
the
and
best
divide.
ways
Don't
to
fall
stay
for it, folks.
involved
Don't
on
fall
what's
for
going
it.
on here. You can
Don't
also
sit there and
follow me
attack
at
each other.
Brian Glenn
We all have
TV
a
on
common
Twitter,
enemy.
Instagram, and Facebook. Please look for the verification pages on all of those.
And we need to focus our attention on
Thank you
that,
so much
not
for
on each
following
other.
us. Don't forget to go to our website, rsbnetwork.com, rsbnetwork.com/donate,
Nitro.
and keep up.
Oh my goodness.
Events that we have going on
I have a feeling you'll wake up and everything will be fine, Nitro. I have a feeling everything will be good.
Meeting there with Liz Willis, and we'll bring you the very latest of what's going on from the state of Arizona. We've got a crew down in South Florida as well that will receive President Trump here later.
Folks,
this
Trump
morning.
is not leaving for
And
good.
just,
And see,
I wanna
a lot of
encourage you
people,
to
when the
pray.
president leaves his term, a lot of
Pray for
times
this
he
country.
goes quiet,
Pray for
goes
our
dark,
president.
and you don't
Pray for
hear
his
much
family.
from them anymore. Like,
pray
take
for each
Obama
other.
or Bush,
Because
you know,
it is not going to
or,
be easy the
you
next
know,
4
for
years,
as the last two
as we see a
examples,
lot
they
of
usually go really
policies being
quiet. I
reversed.
think Trump's going to be
And
very
I just
outspoken. I
wanna-
think he's going to do a lot of good
just- I
out
can't
in
emphasize
the
anymore
corporate
that
world,
we must
where he
pray
couldn't do anything over the
for each
last
other.
4
We
years
must pray
without
for the
Democrats coming in
leadership
saying
in
he's trying to
Washington.
profit,
Pray
he's trying to make
that
money,
God has his
impeach him.
sovereignty
Like
over all of
anything the
us,
man
that
tried to
he is
do, he had to
ultimately
do
in
from
control.
a policy standpoint. He
So when
couldn't
you
do
have fear,
anything with his
anxiety,
money. He couldn't do
do not
anything in the
turn to
corporate
one
world.
another.
You know,
turn to the Lord,
immediately,
as he will guide
what
us
I
through all of
imagine we'll
this.
probably see coming
And,
from
those
Trump
who are gonna be attacking
is
us online,
immediately
those who are
addressing
very
the censorship issue,
aggressive towards our
immediately
faith,
addressing people like myself getting
honor
banned for no
God,
reason
please
whatsoever other than
show
being a
them some love
conservative.
as well.
Like, I'm not attacking anyone. I'm not advocating that anyone go attack anyone. I'm not doing anything that's against terms of service. I'm not doing anything wrong. But, you know, we're banned on Facebook right now. We can't go live on Facebook, so a lot of people aren't seeing us right now.
God bless.
That was done intentionally, I'm sure, to make sure that we couldn't go live on Inauguration Day. You know, there's a lot of different censorship issues going on, and I think one of the first things he might do is come out with an internet where we don't have to worry about that. We might see two separate internets. It might be something as simple as social media, live streaming platforms, that kind of thing, to make sure that, you know, conservative voices can still be heard. You know, I think he couldn't do that before, because it requires money and funds from his companies that he's not allowed to touch while being president. But now he's going to have a lot of different options. And I'm telling you, I think Twitter might come back to regret banning Trump, because I think Trump is, you know, and another word out there for people who haven't heard, I did see that Parler's CEO did come out and did say that they are going to be back before the end of this month. So they are not gone for good. Your accounts are probably still safe there. I would assume that Trump might step in there and might help with at least funding. But again, that's just one example of the things that he can do while not president. And it's important for our voices to be heard. It's important for other people to hear our opinions. You can't just have one side all the time breathing down your neck. And when you turn on mainstream media, that's all you get anymore. I mean, even Fox. I turned on Fox for the first time in over a month the other day, and I couldn't believe how bad it is now. It's just insane. Like, you got to feel bad for people like Tucker who are still stuck over there. It's... you know, but, you know, I think that's what we'll see Trump doing. I think he's going to be very vocal, and I think he's going to put a lot of his resources. I think Trump probably knew there was a swamp in D.C. before he took office, but this man now knows the swamp firsthand. They've been attacking him day in and day out for a long time. And he isn't just... We've never known Trump to be the type of man who just rolls over and takes it, okay? Trump has always been a fighter. He's going to continue to be a fighter. He's going to continue to do what Trump does. He's going to fight for us. So now he just has a lot more tools available to him. You know, Trump was fighting for us from a position where he could fight with a pen and with policy. He couldn't put his money into it. Now he can put his money into it. And I'm telling you, these folks on the other side are probably going to be really frightened about what he's going to be able to do as a public citizen. And that's why they're going to continue attacking him and trying to drag his name through the mud. That's why they're going to continue to try to brainwash folks. You're going to watch the Biden administration try to undo everything Trump did. I've heard rumors all the way up into, including tearing down the wall. That's going to be really dumb, folks. You know, if Biden goes and tears down that wall and we start having a bunch of murders and stuff out there, you know, from illegal people who have been kicked out of the country coming back in, or if there's a terrorist attack and they happen to cross right where there used to be a wall, who do you think is going to take the blame for that? You know, they're making some really serious mistakes that they're immediately going to go after the taxes. They're going to undo the taxes. They're going to undo, like I said, we talked just now about the border wall. I've heard they're going to try to roll back. Another one is the quote unquote Muslim ban, which is dumb. You know, what happens in the next 4 years if there's a terrorist attack and that it comes from one of those countries that was on the ban list? Who's going to take the blame for that? You know, for 4 years, we haven't been able to blame Democrats for just about anything, and they've been sitting there in the position being able to blame everything on the Trump administration. It's just the roles are reversed. And now it's more important than ever for us to be vocal. Now it's more important than ever for us to put our voices out there and for people to hear us and for us to be critics about what's going on. You know, we've always been, as conservatives, we've always been the type of people to sit back and go, you know, we've got to be better than them. We have to be, you know, we're better than that. We have to be this, we have to be that. Folks, that time is over after what we've watched over the last 4 years and how they've attacked this man. The fact of the matter is you've got to fight fire with fire, and you got to use the same tactics, plain and simple. You know, hashtag 45 is still mine. Hashtag not my president. Hashtag Trump is still my president. You know, you got to use the same fire to fight fire, plain and simple. And, you know, like I said, we've enjoyed the last 4 years. It's been wonderful. But now the fight actually begins. The fight for your rights. I'm telling you, the Second Amendment is under attack. Starting at noon today, folks, they are going to come for your First Amendment, for your Second Amendment, for your Fourth Amendment. They are going to come for them. They are going to try to take your rights. You've got to watch out for false flag events, okay? I've been saying it for days, and I'm going here on public record again. I fully expect for there to be some kind of crazy shooting that they're going to publicize all over the news to try to convince Americans to give up their gun rights. I'm telling you. Within the first 6 months, I will be really surprised if it doesn't happen. I will be shocked beyond belief if I don't see that false flag event happen because they want to come after you. We already see the attack on your First Amendment, okay? If there's anybody watching this right now that hasn't had a post deleted, that hasn't been banned from a social media network, that hasn't been kicked off of the Discord, that hasn't been kicked off of somewhere, I'm going to be really surprised. You know, that is an attack on your First Amendment, plain and simple. So they've already come for that. They're actively coming for that. And your Second Amendment is in grave danger. And as a supporter of the Second Amendment, I think it's really, really, really important that we draw red lines in the sand and say that and here's the other thing, you know, you see the flags, you see the signs, we will not comply. That's really important, folks, because the fact of the matter is they cannot arrest every single American in the country. They just can't do it, plain and simple. It's your duty whenever a tyrannical government comes out with fascist laws, okay, and go against your rights, it's important to not comply. If they come out and tell you, turn in your guns, Do not comply. If nobody complies, how are they going to enforce it? They're not going to put everybody in jail. Okay, they're just not. They'll try to make a few examples, but they can't. If you do not comply, the law cannot stand. The one thing that we really have going for us is that, if you guys remember in 2016, remember the Ninth Circuit? Like, anytime the Democrats wanted to pass some kind of crazy law or get something undone, they would go and, they would go to the Ninth Circuit every single time because they knew they had judges in there that would overturn their crap. Trump has completely remade the entire federal court system. Okay, there's a lot of conservative judges out there. I mean, they put record numbers of judges on the bench. All right, I'm willing to bet we're going to hear that Trump didn't left very little or next to nothing of judges that needed to be filled going forward. We also have the Supreme Court. Okay, now that's something you're going to watch. The Democrats are probably going to try to pack the court. But in the meantime, that is the one wall we have standing there when it comes to our rights. And while a lot of people are believing that the Supreme Court is really swampy and whatnot, and I don't doubt that, I do believe that the people that are on that court, at a very minimum, will defend our constitutional rights. I don't believe that they'll sit there and take away, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, I think they'll stand in support of free speech. I saw something the other day. I saw an article about something about birth control, and basically the article was saying that it was the first ruling by the Supreme Court and the first one to undo Roe versus Wade or whatever. But the court did go the way that they voted the way you would have thought they were going to vote. So there's important safeguards there, but we also need to be more active in our local communities and making sure in our local communities that we are getting involved and making sure that we're voting. We can't just vote for the top elections. You've got to get involved, and you've got to go to the primaries. You've got to make sure to put in good people. You've got to go out there and support those good people and vote for them. Nitro, who's one of our Aussie viewers, like, you guys saw what happened in Australia. You saw exactly what happened in Australia when they took the guns away over there. If they take them away, you ain't ever going to get them back. Plain and simple. So, cannot let that happen. Plain and simple. And I don't think that we're also going to have. I don't think the whole voting stuff is over. I think that once this whole circus that we're watching right now of the inauguration and all the newness and of it goes away, I think you'll see Republicans continue to push to, I would like to see them go after universal voting rules for all 50 states. And I'd like to see them make sure that those machines get tested and checked out, and make sure that in the future there is no question about our elections. It's important for the integrity of the elections to be not only trusted by the people, but trusted by everyone around the world. So I think we'll see pushes for that system to be overhauled, and I sure hope they get it accomplished, especially before 2024. So, folks, if you guys didn't catch Trump's speech from yesterday, Trump gave a speech, and it was a more involved speech. This was kind of just his send-off or whatever, but he had a farewell address, and I think we'll cover that real quick for those who didn't see it. But that was his kind of official speech while leaving office. So we'll go ahead and put that up real quick and make sure folks who might have not seen it, because mainstream media didn't cover it. What? Interesting. Okay, so I was about to pull up the farewell address here, and it immediately led to Biden stuff. Go figure. So let me see if I can't get that up here so that you missed it. No, I got it here. Here it is. All right, well, let's get into it. And
build our country, to renew its spirit.
Restart it
4
here.
years ago, we
has just released. Let's listen in.
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word.
Chalupa, I just saw you. I need to have contact with you somehow.
The amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible. First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love
Chalupa,
and
say something to
support
me over there on Twitch
of our spectacular First Lady, Melania.
so that I can DM
Let me
you.
also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara. You fill my world with light and with joy. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen, and the entire Pence family. Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff, and the Cabinet, and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service. My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House Military Office, the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people. To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor. We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat, but about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible. Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration had ever done before. We fixed our broken trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord, renegotiated the one-sided South Korea deal, and we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus. Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built. Without the foundations and footings, it wouldn't have worked out this way. We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had. We also unlocked our energy resources and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas, by far. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and millions were lifted from poverty in just a few short years. It was a miracle. Stock market set one record after another, with 148 stock market highs during this short period of time, and boosted the retirements and pensions of hardworking citizens all across our nation. 401ks are at a level they've never been at before. We've never seen numbers like we've seen, and that's before the pandemic and after the pandemic. We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and brought back the beautiful phrase, "Made in the USA." To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed the largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow. When our nation was hit with the terrible pandemic, we produced not one, but 2 vaccines with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They called it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now, a medical miracle. Another administration would have taken 3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. We did it in 9 months. We grieve for every life lost, and we pledge in their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all. When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, we launched the fastest economic recovery our country has ever seen. We passed nearly $4 trillion in economic relief, saved or supported over 50 million jobs, and slashed the unemployment rate in half. These are numbers that our country has never seen before. We created choice and transparency in health care, stood up to Big Pharma in so many ways, but especially in our effort to get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court. We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written. For years,
Snapper,
the American
good seeing you,
people
brother.
pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We have given our brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before and to enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again. Please don't lose that respect. We reclaimed our sovereignty by standing up for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interests. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military. All made
a new follower.
Hell yeah! The United States Armed Forces in 75 years.
Wiggle Flick, thank you so much for that follow over there on the D Lives. Folks, we've been live a hell of a lot more often over on D Live, so if you haven't gotten over there yet, make sure to do so.
Return to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years. We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. The Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony, not violence and bloodshed. It is the dawn of a new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home. I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars. Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding light, our North Star, our unwavering conviction has been that we are here to serve the noble, everyday citizens of America. Our allegiance is not to these special interests, corporations, or global entities. It's to our children, our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do. Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Together, we put the American people back in charge of our country. We restored
a new follower.
Hell yeah! No one is forgotten because everyone matters and
Legendary Dave,
has
thank
a
you so
voice.
much for that follow
We
over on
fought
the
for
D
the
Live.
principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights, because we are all made equal by God. Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you. We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes, for these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality. What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history. We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America. The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity. That means focusing on what we have in common, the heritage that we all share. At the center of this heritage is also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only if we forget who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America. It's not even thinkable. Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values and most enduring traditions. In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or enforce rigid orthodoxies and punitive speech codes. We just don't do that. America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from those with whom we disagree. That's not who we are. It will never be who we are. For nearly 250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence. These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday citizens to set out across a wild continent and carve out a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle and our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years, one image rises in my mind above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people. They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag. It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country. This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction that America is the greatest nation in all of history.
RPTM.
We are
yes,
and must
I
always
appreciate
be
the follow. Thank
a
you.
land of hope, of light, and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past 4 years, I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh to a great square of Polish people in Warsaw, from the floor of the Korean Assembly to the podium at the United Nations General Assembly, and from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore, I fought for you, I fought for your family, I fought for our country. Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday, I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning. There's never been anything like it. The belief that a nation must serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve. Our communities will flourish. Our people will be prosperous. Our traditions will be cherished, our faith will be strong, and our future will be brighter than ever before. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come. Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
The best is yet to come, folks. Let that sink in for a second. The best is yet to come. If Trump is saying the best is yet to come, folks, that means we have not seen the best yet. Multiple times in his last few speeches, we've heard him say he's not done. We've heard him say it's not over. We've heard him say over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. That the best is yet to come. I think that's really important. I think that's something that we really need to keep an eye on. Something that we need to keep focus on. And something to keep in our hearts going forward. So, with that being said, today is going to be a very busy day. This was just the early morning startup of everything. Gonna have a lot of live streams. We're gonna be monitoring the situation going forward. Get your popcorn ready. That's what I'm about to do. I'm gonna go get me some breakfast, get some coffee, get some good stuff in the bellies, and maybe get a couple drinks going here. Folks, something that's really important. A lot of people were displaced during the Great Purge. A lot of people are still kind of lost, still trying to find each other or whatnot. So almost everybody in our Discord had their accounts banned and they disappeared. So with that being said, our Discord is fine. Our Discord is up. I'd like to see all the people who were in there before be able to find their way in. But at the same time, we're not putting the links out there so that lefty trolls can find the links. The one link we are sharing for the public and anybody can join is the Telegram link. Let me get that for everybody. In the future, what I'll do is I'll put it down in the comments so that you can find it. But I'll share it in the chat right now so that you can get into the Telegrams. The Telegrams is a lot. It's another chat platform similar to Discord, but you don't have to really worry about getting banned over there or getting taken out just simply for being a conservative. So, see, DLive, you guys now have it. YouTube, you guys now have it. The link is in the chat there. And then over on Twitch, you guys now have the link as well. We'll be starting up a second Facebook account so that when we go back live later today, we can also be on Facebook, because a lot of people got displaced there. And of course, they banned us until February 2nd from live streaming for simply covering the events of what happened on Washington, D.C. on the 6th. So, if you were in the Discord previous to the banning and you were someone that I know was there, reach out to me on Twitch, send me a whisper, and I'll get you a link to get you back in the Discord. Or you can go on Telegram with that link that I just shared and get into the Telegram over there. And then you can also DM me over there and I will get you a link. Just get a hold of me, let me know so we can get everybody back together. The majority of the people have made their way back into that Discord now. So, but we are going to not be sharing that Discord link publicly for a while for good reason. So, go ahead and add us over there on the, either DM me on Twitch, send me a whisper over there, okay, or get into the Telegram and get a hold of me, or just say something in the chat at me or whatever, and I will get you in there. There's still a few people outstanding that we are missing, so I'd like to get you back on over into the Discord. So with that being said, folks, I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. We will come back live here in a little while to cover the events of the... I've got to come up with a new word for it. The Boo-auguration or something. We'll come up with something fancy. But SEAL Team, also make sure to get on over to SEALteam711.com. There's some new merch over there. You guys go check it out. SEALteam711.com. Also check out that one weird girl over on Twitch and Anazant on YouTube and Twitch as well. With that being said, folks, I'm peacing out, and I will see you guys shortly. Bye.